Hey everyone, it's Chewy here, and so I'm doing this video because when I first started this, I didn't have one that I could find that I liked that went over really good, easy ways of setting this up. But this is a tutorial on how to set up the rainbow generators. So basically, rainbow generators. You go here and oops. So rainbow generator is extra utilities. Basically, when you have each one of the individual rainbow generators, when you have each one of these set up, so you've got slimy, disenchantment, death, potion, pink, overclocked, explosive, nether star, halitosis, frosty, ender, heated redstone, magmatic. So you need two of these: culinary, furnace, survival, and I don't need the windmill. So when you have all of those, and we'll get to these in a minute, but I have four rows over there, and I have another one over here in the room with the draconic energy sphere. Well, you can kind of see them down there at the bottom. I don't want to go in there too much because of the activity from the rainbow generators. You can see there's 5 of them set up. So each one of those runs 25 million RF a tick. Okay, and the reason we need them, most people that need them, is for the achievements for Project E. Basically, we need to fill up your personal EMC to, I think it's 9 quintillion, which is the max number. Yeah, 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion. So that's a massive amount of EMC. So each balanced clay, though, is worth 23 quadrillion. Yeah. So you need basically 400 of those. And they take right around 4 billion RF per. So right now, this is clicking along at about a half hour, 45 minutes with 125 million RF per tick. So that'll tell you how much it needs. It's a massive amount of RF. So how do we use EMC to create an unending basically supply of items for the generators? One thing also that I should note, if you look behind here, you see I've got stellar energy conduit running to a trash can, an energy trash can. So the rainbow generators will not consider these individual generators running if they're full output. Okay, so if they're at max output, they're not running according to the system because it's not generating any new RF. It's not seeing any changes. So that's how that works. So make sure that you, at the very end of all of this setup, make sure that you have it emptying out the RF as well. So it has to go somewhere. You don't have to destroy it if you want to send it to, like, power cell or something like that. It just needs to be big enough that it won't get full. Okay. And then, so anyways, so we have these all taking items, and so your trickiest ones are going to be your heated redstone. So it's going to take fluid, lava, and redstone itself, as well as the slimy, which takes a slime ball and milk, and it has to be a bucket of milk. So you have to figure out a way to dump the buckets as well. All right, and so we're using extraction cables with blacklists for the slime, and basically once the bucket is empty, it pulls it out. With the potion generators, we have the same thing where it's pulling out bottles. Okay, so those are the two. Those two are tricky. And then the disenchantment generator takes an enchanted item. And so I'll show you the two of those first, and then we'll do the replication part is what handles most of the rest of it. All right, so here we have a fisher with lure 3, luck of the sea 3, and then mending. Basically everything is getting dumped into this chest and it's filtered out. The junk gets filtered into here. All right, and then the rest comes in here, and then the cyclic item transfer node pushes everything to the disenchantment generators. So the other thing, the potions, is set up over here. So if you're not familiar with EMC, energy condensers, the MK2s will basically take anything with EMC and then replicate whatever you have up here in your target. Okay, and so we have a full line of potion items being generated, and then we have over here, well, we got power to the rest of them, and then we got a kitchen sink running water through a servo and a flow duct, and then into each. Basically, it flows from one to the next all the way down. All right, so the first one gets water and then another wort, and gives us awkward potions. That is put into the one next to it, and we're using the alchemical imbuers. That's taking awkward potion and adding a golden carrot to it, transferring that in. That's potion of night vision. Then we're adding redstone to make it longer, and then we're adding fermented spider eye, which converts it. Into the potion of invisibility at 8 minutes, and then we're making a splash potion by adding gunpowder, and dragon's breath makes it lingering. All right, and then we're bottling it here, and then dumping it into this chest, and then the cyclic is sending it to the potion generator. All right, so this is replicating bottles, this is replicating dragon's breath, this is replicating gunpowder. So we have an unending supply of all of this. Okay. And this is all being run by this TerraSteel chickens. TerraSteel is your highest EMC per ingot. So if you see over here the numbers, they go up every time I add TerraSteel in there. So I also have a whole wall of these running into my personal EMC. So, and that's chunk loaded. So even when I'm off server, it's inching me closer to that to that. Whatever, to that 9 quintillion number. So this is how EMC works. Basically, we've got the TerraSteel chickens, item conduits into the energy condenser, and I'm targeting aluminum ingots, and then it's dumping into the cyclic transfer, and then this GPS marker is tied to this ender chest. All right, and you can see it's getting a little clogged up because we're really hammering it right now. But basically, this is all dumping into the ME system. All right. So I'll actually stop that here. Okay. So that won't produce any more now. That'll just clear up what's in the entry. This will hold like 200,000 items. So you can't see it, but it's all the way down. There's no scroll on it, but it definitely goes down further, a lot, basically. So, and it depends on how much EMC you have, right? So your aluminum only takes 128 EMC to replicate. Each one of these is 71,000. So you can see how quickly this replicates, and it'll always keep you full. And basically, I have no trouble with the individual replicators down here tracking. This is where most of it is all set up. Again, I don't want to go down there because of the effects that the rainbow generators kick off. But there's enough of these generators up along these walls, and that wall over here. Wow, those effects are brutal. There may be a way to turn those off. I haven't found it yet. I didn't really look that hard for it. But basically, each one of the rainbow generators puts out 25 million RF a tick, which is pretty substantial. And then with 5 of them, I have 125 million RF per tick going into it. Eventually, I'm going to put it into the sphere. But for right now, until I get the balanced clay done and I move on to Thaumcraft, this is the way it's going. So I'm basically just stacking up the personal clay. Or balanced clay. All right, and so this is if you aren't aware, basically you've got if you want to automate this, you put in multi-stacks, make sure single mode is inactive, so you can stack this. So I've got a stack of each of these, and then a stack of cache shards here. When the balanced clay is finished, it goes into here, and then it pulls another one from each one of them and starts it again. So the redstone clock is actually triggering the start once the item's been removed out of the output and put into the chest. To do that, we're using the item extraction cable from Cyclic, and we're whitelisting the balanced clay. All right, and you can do that with anything really. If you want to do a stack of whatever, But again, the personal, the EMC Project E is pretty, I would consider it overpowered. Basically, with the replication the way it is, a stack of Terra Steel, let's see, is 76,400,000. So I can dump that into my transmutation tablet, and I can pull out anything else that I put in here. So once you put an item in here, it learns it. So now I put one extraction cable in there, but I can pull out a stack of them because it's basically just using the EMC that's built in here, and I can put it back in there. So I'm replicating it, but I can pull out as many as I want. So anytime you have something like chaos shards, which are expensive to make, or you have to go fight the dragon for, all you need is one to put it in here, and then a load of EMC. So I can make 5 of them for basically nothing, as long as my Terra Steel chickens keep adding it into. It's constantly going up. So this is my personal EMC link, and every time 6 ingots go in, I get 428. 3 ingots, it's 214,000. But I have 14 of these units, all putting Terra Steel into my personal EMC. So that's building up the EMC towards that total 9 quintillion goal. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. That should cover all of it. Let's see. Do we get rid of all of that? Nope. How much more is there? Wow, there's a lot. So we'll take that off. Take the load off the. Oops. So once you get to that point where you're actively working in the EMC and you have a lot of it built up, the grind becomes less of a grind and it's more strategic. So you can pull stuff out of there, but you don't really want to until you hit that goal. Once you hit the achievement, then you can use the EMC and you can pull anything out of it. So I dumped everything I would that I could think of that I would regularly need. Okay, so all the ingots, logic processors for the ME storage buses, interfaces, all of the stuff for ME, the ME system that I would use. Individual ingots, night slime, osmium, any of those type of things that I would use regularly, fluix, fluid crystals, fluid dust. So it's pretty nice to have it. So anyways, there's that, and hopefully if you have any questions, just drop them below in a comment and I'll see what I can do. Might as well give these guys a shout out. They're a public server. I use them I play on it all the time. It's Craftland or Crafterland. Let's see. Crafters Land. There you go. Yeah, anyways, that's what it is. If you look on this is Stoneblock 2. If you look on their public server list, they're up near the top. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful, and see you next time.